بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن سعد بن أبي وقاص رضي الله عنه قال خرجنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من مكة نريد المدينة فلما كنا قريبا من أزوزا نزل ثم رفع يديه فدعا الله ساعة ثم خرج ساجدا فمكث طويلا ثم قام فرفع يديه ساعة ثم خرج ساجدا فمكث طويلا ثم قام فرفع يديه ساعة ثم خرج ساجدا قال إني سألت ربي وشفعت لأمتي فأعطاني ثلث أمتي فخرجت ساجدا لربي شكرا ثم رفعت رأسي وسألت ربي لأمتي فأعطاني ثلث أمتي فخرجت ساجدا لربي شكرا ثم رفعت رأسي وسألت ربي لأمتي فأعطاني الثلث الآخر فخرجت ساجدا لربي شكرا. رواه أحمد وأبو داود. The Imam Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, he said, we came out with Nabi Akram from Makkah intending Medina. Then when we were close to, was it what? Azwaza, right? We settled down. Then, in order to put up camp there. Then he raised his hands and made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a while. Then he went into sajda. Then he stayed long in sajda. Then he stood up. Then he raised his hands for a while. Then he went into sajda. Then he stayed long in sajda. Then he stood up. Then he raised his hands for a while. Then he fell into sajda. Then he said, then after he explained now, I asked my Rabb and I interceded for my ummati. So he gave me 1/3 of my ummat. In other words, he forgave them. Then I fell down in sajda for my Rabb out of shukr. Then I raised my head. Then I asked my Rabb for my ummah. Then he gave me 1/3 of my ummah. So I fell down in sajda to my Rabb out of shukr. Then I raised my head and I asked my Rabb for my ummah. Then he gave me the last third. And then I fell down in sajda for my Rabb out of shukr. So the first 1/3 of the ummah was the Sabiqun al-Awwalun, right? Sabiqun. Those are those people who their lives are engaged in amal. They don't fall short in amal. They stay away from sin, right? So that's the first third that was forgiven. The second third is those that are average people that they, in other words, they do the amal, but they also fall short now and then. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave them. And the third people are those people whose their sins have overtaken them, and they are mostly sinners. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yeah, according to this now, shows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven them. So, but however, the ishkal now is that how everybody has to give hisab, especially of the major sins. The major sins, a person, minor sins can drop off, but what it says, but the major sins, a person has to make tawbah. So some ulama say what this hadith refers to here is now that intercession is not for maghfirat. It is rather that the ummah will not be they will not be swallowed up by the earth. They won't be deformed, and a major punishment won't come on them at once, right? That's one. Some say that the dua of and the intercession of Nabi Akram saves the ummah from forever punishment. So in other words, if a person was a sinner, he'll have to first go and get his punishment, but at the end, because he's got kalima, he'll still go into Jannah. Right? Babu Salatul Istisqa, the chapter of Salah of Rain. Istisqa in the Lugwi meaning is to seek water. In the Shariat, it means at the time of a drought to seek water, right? Or seek rain in a particular way with a salah and a dua, right? When Abdullah ibn Zayd radiallahu anhu قال خرج رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بالناس إلى المصلى يستسقي فصلى بهم ركعتين جهر فيهما بالقراءة واستقبل القبلة يدعو ورفع يديه وحول رداءه حين استقبل القبلة متفق عليه. Abdullah ibn Zayd said that Nabi Akram came out to the people to the Eidgah and to seek for rain, and he recited them two rakats, and he made a round qiraat in them, and he faced the qibla, and he made dua, and he raised his hands, and he turned his shawl around when he faced the qibla. Hazrat Imam Shafi'i and Sahibain rahimahullah ta'ala, they say uh, that the Salatul Istisqa is just like Salatul Eid. And as Imam Malik rahmatullah, he says Salatul Istisqa, you read just how you read a normal 2 rakats, right? When it comes to the Ahnaf, yeah, there are 2 calls. One is Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, and he says Istisqa actually is not a salah, rather it's a dua and a istighfar. And he says those ahadith which shows Istisqa, uh, it doesn't mean salah, rather it means dua. And in Hazrat Umar radiallahu anh also, when there was an occasion when they were also in the same situation, then he just made dua and he didn't make salatul istisqa. Right. And if it were to be sunnah, then he would have not left it out. Right. Sahibain, they say different. They say the salatul istisqa is masnoon, sunnat, right? And they say there's also a khutbah with it. So there's salatul jamaat and a khutbah. Some say that what Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah actually means by saying La Salata fil Istisqa, he means that there is no khutbah and no jamaat. Rather, everybody read individually Salatul Istisqa. Right. Nevertheless, the Ahnaf's fatwa is on Sahibain's go. That Salatul Istisqa, because there are so many ahadith to show that Salatul Istisqa took place. When it comes to Salatul Istisqa, they say the basis is that in the first rakat you read Surah Qaf or Sabbih Isma. In the second rakat you read Iqtarabati Sa'atu or Surah Ghashiyah. Right. When it comes to turning the shawl, when you make the dua now, so it's actually like an omen. You're turning your shawl, you're trying to get a good omen from there. That just as the shawl is turned, the situation must turn from. So you turn your shawl, and then you're asking also that the situation be turned. And how do you turn your shawl? So you take your right hand and you put it behind you, right? And then you grab the left corner of your shawl, and you pick it up and put it on your right shoulder. And you take your left hand, you grab the right corner of the shawl, and you pick it up and you put it on your left shoulder. You understand? So that's like turning it completely upside down and right to left also. Upside down and right goes to left and left goes to right. Right. وأن أنس رضي الله قال كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يرفع يديه في شيء من دعائه إلا في الاستسقاء فإنه يرفع حتى يرى بياض إبطيه متفق عليه. As narrated from Anas رضي الله عنه said, Nabi Akram never used to raise his hands in any of his du'as except in Salatul Istisqa, in Istisqa, because indeed he used to raise until the whiteness of his armpits could be seen. So Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu is saying now that he never used to raise his hands in any other situation. Doesn't mean because there are enough other situations where it should not also to raise the hands and make dua. Rather, what it means is that he never used to raise it so high as he would raise it in Salatul Istisqa. So ulama say that when you're making dua, right, then the greater the need, the higher the hand should go. You understand? The greater the need, and the and the greater importance the need is, that's how the higher the hand should also go higher. وعن أنس رضي الله عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم استسقى فأشار بظهر كفيه إلى السماء رواه مسلم. Therefore, Anas radiallahu anhu said Nabi Akram made dua for rain. Then he indicated with the back of his palms to the sky. Right? So like this now. Back of his palms to the sky. So this is also a what's the name? Trying to take a good omen. When you face them, in other words, when you're facing your back, the back of your palms, in other words, the back of your hand to the sky, right? Then you are saying that, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just as the inside of the hands is facing the earth, Likewise, let the inside of the clouds face the earth and open up. You understand? And rain out and rain. So just as the inside of the hand is facing the earth, so let the bottom of the clouds also facing the earth, and that's the inside of the clouds, and that they and then send down the rain from the clouds. That's just taking a good omen. Then other ulama have also given they said something here. Let's see what they say. They say that if you're making dua to be distant from drought or something like it, then you face the back of your hands to the sky. And if you're making dua to achieve some ni'mat, then you face your palm, your inside of your hands to the sky. All right. And Aisha radiallahu anha قالت إن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان إذا رأى المطر قال اللهم صيبا نافعا رواه البخاري. There was Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that Nabi Akram sallam, when he used to see the rain, then he said, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let it rain nicely and beneficial. And let it be beneficial. وعن أنس رضي الله قال أصابنا ونحن مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال فحس رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ثوبه حتى أصابه من المطر فقلنا يا رسول الله لما صنعت هذا قال لأنه حديث عهد بربه رواه مسلم. Anas says that when rain came down on us once, and we were in the company of Nabi Karim Sallam. So Nabi Karim Sallam removed his clothes until the rain would come onto his body, right? So we removed from, they say, from his head and from his back a little bit. You understand? Until it come onto his body. So we said, oh Nabi Karim, why are you doing like this? He say, this is new from your Rabb, right? This is new from your Rabb. In other words, this rain came down now with the hukam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it came down pure. And as yet nobody, no sinner touched it. You understand it? Therefore this water is now tabarruk, it's got barakat in there. Ulama also write here that at the time of rain, you can also make sunnah to make dua, your dua will be accepted. When Abdullah ibn Zayd رضي الله عنه خرج رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى المصلى فاستسقى وحول رداءه حين استقبل القبلة فجعل إطرافه الأيمن على عاتقه الأيسر وجعل إطرافه الأيسر على عاتقه الأيمن ثم دعا الله رواه أبو داود. Nabi Abdullah ibn Zayd said that Nabi Akram came out to the Eid, then he made dua for rain, and he turned his shawl upside down, right? When he was facing Qibla. So he made its right corner, right, on his left shoulder, and he made its left corner on his right shoulder. Then he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وأنه قال استسقى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعليه خميسة له سوداء فأراد أن يأخذ أسفلها فيجعله أعلاها فلما so what you got after it? فيجعله أعلاها. Then after it? فلما ثقلت قلبها على عاتقيه رواه أبو داود ورواه أحمد وأبو داود. Narrate also from Abdullah ibn Zayd, said Nabi Akram made dua for rain, and upon him there was a shawl which was black, and he intended to take its bottom and make it on top. And when that became difficult, then he just changed it on his shoulders. So in other words, he was supposed to take the bottom and put it on the top, right? But that was becoming difficult. So what he did, he just made the right to the left and the left to the right. You understand it? Right. When أمير مولى أبي اللحم أنه رأى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يستسقي عند أحجار الزيت قريبا من الزوراء قائما يدعو يستسقي رافعا يديه قبل وجهه لا يجاوز بهما رأسه رواه أبو داود وروى الترمذي والنسائي نحوه. There is from Umayl, the freed slave of Bil Laham. He saw Nabi Akram making dua for rain by Ahjar Zayt, close to Zawra, standing, making dua, seeking rain and raising his hands in front of his face, he did not surpass what hit his head. Right? In other words, he didn't raise it higher than his head. Abu Dawud and Tirmidhi Nasai also narrated similar to it. Ahjaru Zayt is a place in Medina, right? Uh, and the reason it's got this name, Ahjaru Zayt, Ahjar, you got Ahjar there, ne? Yeah, it's black stones because there's lots of black stones, and the black stones are shining. So it's as though you put olive oil on the black stone, it's causing it to shine. So you got Zayt there, Ahjaru Zayt. You understand it? And Zawra is also in Medina. It's the name of a bazaar in Medina, right? Mm, uh, so nevertheless, yeah, this hadith now show that he never raised it very far high, very high, and the other hadith show that he raised it till his armpits could be seen. So sometimes he raised it high, sometimes he raised it a bit lower. You understand? Different occasions, he did it differently. When Ibn Abbas رضي قال خرج رسول الله يعني في الاستسقاء متبذلا متواضعا متخشعا متضرعا رواه الترمذي وابو داود والنسائي وابن ماجه. And when Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said Nabi Akram came out to make dua for rain, and uh, mutabazzilan, not adorning himself, right? Mutawadiyan, humbly. Mutakhashiyan also means humbly, but humble with the heart also. Mutadarrian, imploring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Narrated by Tirmidhi, Abu Dawud, Nasa'i, Ibn Majah. Um, when you go out to seek, make dua for rain, like Nabi Akram went out here, then his outer and his inner and his tongue and his heart was all focused to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and was all showing humility and humbleness and neediness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand it? So all your alums are focused, and it's all showing that, whether it's your outer appearance, right? So you didn't have now fancy clothes or something. And whether it's your inner, where it's got to do your heart, and then obviously now you're employing more, and you're making mutadarriyan also means employing, in others, you're making the zikr, or you're making the dua verbally also. All right. وعن عمرو بن شعيب عن أبيه عن جده أنه قال كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم استسقى قال اللهم اسقي عبادك وبهيمتك وانشر رحمتك وأحي بلدك الميت رواه مالك وأبو داود. There's from Amr ibn Shu'ayb, from his father, from his grandfather. He said, Nabi Akram Sallam, when you should make dua for rain, you say, oh Allah, give rain or give water to your servants and your animals, and spread your rahmat, and liven up your dead city. Naribah Malik and Abu Dawud. When Jabir radiallahu anhu qala ra'aytu Rasulullah sallam yuwaki. Is it what yuwaki there? Right? Yuwaki. قال اللهم اسقنا غيثا مغيثا مريئا مريعا نافعا غير ضار عاجلا غير آجل قال فأطبقت عليهم السماء رواه أبو داود. Then Jabir radiallahu anhu saw Nabi Akram lifting his hands in dua, right? And he said, oh Allah, give us rain, right? Mughis and helpful, right? Marian Murian will say is wholesome and healthy, right? And Nafi and beneficial. Ghairador, not harming, not harmful. Agilan, quickly. Ghaira agil, not delayed, right? Then the skies would open up upon them. Okay, leave it.